I share my colleagues' concern that this is a profound crisis for the university, and especially that it goes to the very core of what public education ought to be in California. The main topic of my talk tonight is going to be about lecturers and the effects of these budget cuts on lecturers, and through them, students. And I'm keenly aware that from the student's perspective, there's no difference between the faculty that you encounter in the classroom. You may not know the difference, for example, between Senate faculty and non-Senate faculty. Lecturers are non-Senate faculty. But what does this mean? It means simply that there is no shared governance or participation by lecturers in the academic senate on this campus. That is not true on other campuses, but it is true on this campus. It also means that lecturers have higher teaching loads. 6 courses per year is standard rather than the 3 or 4 that the Senate faculty teach. Lecturers are more poorly paid. The average non-Senate faculty across the state earns around the middle of the $40,000 range. At Berkeley, it's a bit higher. It's in the low $50,000 range. Many lecturers are part-time, but not all. Many teach service courses like writing or language. Others teach in the professional schools. Others still sit on graduate committees, teach large lecture courses, run pedagogical seminars that the campus requires of all its first-time GSIs. Lecturers come and go as there is no tenure. There is also no permanent funding. Since 2003, however, long-term lecturers who are around for 6 years and who successfully pass an excellence review, which is based solely on the quality of their teaching, are promoted to continuing status and have no termination date. 1 year's notice needs to be provided to those people for a total layoff, but a single course can be eliminated with 30 days notice, and with that, 16% of a lecturer's pay. Anything else short of a total layoff requires 60 days notice. So someone could theoretically be reduced 5 courses with 60 days notice, leaving 80% of their pay to the university. Lecturers are not paid to do research, though many of us do. Lecturers are paid to teach and are recognized as excellent teachers. On this campus, there are something like 600 lecturers every year, though the vast majority are part-time. There are about 180 to 200 continuing lecturers on campus, a small majority of which are full-time. These people tend to have been here for quite a while and, like myself, have responsibilities for programmatic areas and have demonstrated commitment to the university in terms of service, outreach, and in many cases, research, though that is not part of the job description. Now that you know that such people exist and that they have no voice in the running of the campus or of the university, you should be on the lookout to see who your teachers are and whether or not they are members of the non-Senate faculty or the Senate faculty. Now, some statistics, and these we can go to the PowerPoints. I'm not going to read through all of these. It's a comparison of, go through the next one. Next one. Here we go. Lots of data here. This is across all of the UC campuses. What you see for the data point that I was able to get is that there were 6,161 Senate faculty FTE and 1,439 lecturers representing over 2,000 bodies. And you can then go through the calculations and see quite, I think, demonstrably the amount of teaching that lecturers actually do, and then come to the conclusion that we have come to. Lecturers teach much larger classes with higher credit hours. The final number is kind of shocking when you figure that the average is less than half. It is not, however, surprising when one considers the nature of lecturer classes. I bring this in specifically so that we can talk about the budget cuts and the direct ways in which this impacts teaching at this particular campus. Other people can talk about research and other areas. My concern here is teaching. One of the other things that I do with all of my free time is serve as the vice president for grievances for the lecturers union, so I know pretty much what's going on everywhere on all of the campuses at the UC, and if you know me, you know I'm pretty aggrieved generally, so this is kind of a good fit. In short, what I'm going to be describing is the Berkeley situation, but it is mirrored around the state. In terms of salary, the lecturers have not been given a furlough, and with it a corresponding pay reduction. The reason for this is simple and goes back to the decision of the Office of the President in a couple of weeks ago that the Senate faculty could not take furloughs on teaching days. Lecturers are paid per course. Therefore, there was no way to impose a furlough on people who are paid per course. So the lecturers are getting no furlough, no pay reduction. The university had earlier issued a demand to bargain. I was part of that group that was talking to them, and we had proposed a number of things, but they then changed their mind. And that's a good thing, but it's a good thing, and that's the only good thing. Because, in fact, the university then went to follow the lecturer's contract, which required that people in their first 6 years not be reappointed if there was a budget cut. So that means fewer courses available. I know for a fact that on this particular campus, just in letters and sciences, right now there are between 60 and 75 fewer lecturers than there were a year ago. That's the loss of 400 classes. That's pretty dramatic, and that's only one college. The next thing that the university has done is to issue layoffs to continuing appointees. It has done so on this campus infrequently, but it has done so nevertheless. At UCLA, the entire college writing program was laid off, given a year's notice, at 67 people. At Irvine, every lecturer in social sciences was given a layoff. That's 37 people. In the School of Engineering here, the entire technical communications program was laid off. That's a smaller number of people, but it raises issues of accreditation and quality of education more broadly, and you should be concerned with that. It is, I think, fairly frightening that this kind of approach can take place. We've seen smaller layoffs in the School of Public Health, the French and Comp Lit departments, and a handful of other places. We have seen departments that are virtually run by lecturers being reorganized with abandon and the loss of support for their ability to perform instruction. This has come about as a result of staff layoffs. I can't right now do book orders because we have no one to do them. I saw in my office yesterday a student yelling at a peer advisor because the peer advisor was directed to keep our one advisor on duty free so that she could handle scheduling. So the students were in fact yelling at each other about something over which they had no control. I've been here 15 years. I've never seen that before. The contract requires that instructional support be provided. We are increasingly seeing the elimination of discussion sections with teaching assistants. Some of you may have heard of Robert Reich's idea to eliminate TAs and simply offer fewer units to students. He knows this is not a good idea pedagogically, but it is what can be done. In the case of many programs, including my own, TA support is being eliminated. In the 15 years that I have been here, this is unprecedented. The problem is not unique to Berkeley. The problem is everywhere. You are being shortchanged. There is no doubt about it. It cannot be solved by my union, which incidentally also represents the librarians, which are taking a furlough, and the libraries are closing. It's unhealthy. It's not good for you. You need, I think, to reiterate what my colleagues have said, to be active in this. We cannot do it alone. The only way for you to do that is to take action, to not accept what you are being told is acceptable for a public university. Thank you.